segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. And Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Welcome everyone to the Inland Sports Show. Before we start the show, make sure you like this video and you've subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to promote yourself on this show, just send us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. The show starts right now. Garcia's left-footed. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show at Home edition. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Our director, Johnny Nunez, busy with high school graduations, plus Teen Vision TV 16 doing a little bit of remodeling around the studio as well. So we'll probably be doing at-home editions for a couple of weeks at least until we get back into the studio. But tonight, very big show. A little bit later on, we're going to hear from Centennial head football coach Matt Logan and his daughter, Sami Logan, who is now the first Centennial girls flag football coach. We will talk to both of them. Plus, we'll also preview the University of Redlands football camps coming up. They start this week, and all of the big-time programs on the West Coast, some across the country, come right here to the IE, to the U of R, Ted Runner Stadium for their annual football camp. So we're going to hear from head coach Jim Good and associate head coach Joey Mariani as well. But we're leading things off with a little bit of track and field action from the CIF State meet. And if you didn't see this, check this out from Saturday night up there at Buchanan High School in Clovis. It's our Big Boost play of the week. Inland Sports. So check it out. It is Rylee Blade from Santiago High School winning the CIF State Championship in the 3,200 meters. That's 2 miles. And she did it in just over 10 minutes, shattering her previous best by nearly 20 seconds. Rylee Blade is a state champion, and we had a chance to interview her here on the Inland Sports Show. Again, that's our Big Boost play of the week. Congratulations to Rylee Blade of the Sharks. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. She is a CIF state champion in the 3,200 meters from Santiago High School, Rylee Blade. And congratulations on the state championship. When you're up there on the podium and you're the first place finisher and you're getting the medal, I mean, what is that feeling like?
It's pretty great. It's like something that you always like shoot for, like at the beginning of the season. I think it's pretty much everyone's goal from the start, but to be able to get there, it's like a huge accomplishment because it's like everything you've worked for, you have achieved now, and it's like everything's all coming together at once.
So going into the season, did you really think, you know what? I'm a state title contender, or did you feel like, man, there's some good runners out there. I'm going to have to really drop my time if I'm going to have a chance to, well, I don't know, even 1, make state, and 2, maybe win state?
My goal from the start was just a podium. I didn't think that I could win state this year, seeing how fast the times were last year at state. And I didn't know what I would run like this year because I didn't really have a freshman year because I was injured. But I just kind of wanted to like go into it just shooting to podium from the start, but I honestly didn't think that I could win.
Well, I've got your times right here, and you had a winning time of 10 minutes, 2.19 seconds. I mean, that's a ridiculous time. How much time did you shave off of your previous best to win the state championship?
I think it was like 19 seconds or something.
Were you surprised? Like when you crossed the finish line and you're looking at the times, you're like, are you serious? Like, were you surprised?
Yeah, I didn't even see my time crossing the line because it hurt so bad to where I wasn't even having my eyes open coming down the finishing stretch. So I didn't see my time until they told me afterwards, and I was just shocked to hear my time.
I mean, and what did you think? Like, there's like no way. Like, is it really me? Like, is it my name next to that 10:02? Like, who is this?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Even like after seeing our first mile split, there was like I kind of knew from the start I'd have trouble breaking 10:10. So then hearing that was kind of really insane.
So, now that you're a state champion and you win the 3,200 meters, does that kind of invigorate you a little bit in terms of, now you can set your goals even bigger? I don't know if you're thinking, I want to be a multi-state champion by the time you're done in your high school career. Are you thinking, I don't know, Olympic trials down the road? I mean, has it kind of opened your eyes to maybe some bigger goals down the road?
Yeah, it's definitely opened my eyes. Knowing that I have run close to the 10-minute barrier, like trying to get under it. It kind of like helps me for next season to put that as a new goal, like to break 10, because that's a really hard one. Like getting under that 10-minute barrier is extremely hard. So it kind of like opened my eyes for like what I can do maybe next season and moving on, and hopefully maybe trying new events if I go to college and start running in it, which I want to do. Maybe trying to go for like maybe a 5,000 or something, seeing how I'm a little bit better towards the longer distances.
Mm-hmm. So would you say cross country is your specialty or distance races are your specialty? Like, what would you say?
I'm kind of not like, I don't really know because I can do the mile. I've done the 800 a few times. Mm-hmm. I've done 400 here and there, and then I've done all the way up to the 3 mile. So it's kind of just a mix, but I'm kind of leaning more towards the 2 mile, the 1 mile, and the 3 mile right now. So.
And then Rylee, going back to you said you had an injury your freshman season. Does it make winning state? Does it make it more rewarding having to fight back after an injury? And I don't know how significant the injury was, but just kind of rehabbing and getting back to where you were, and obviously even better to win a state title from that injury.
Yeah, it kind of is pretty crazy right now because last season I could barely run 3 miles at this point because I had maybe 2 weeks of season coming off because I had broken my foot. So I was out basically the whole entire time. So it was definitely a challenge getting back to cross country even because I have to shoot straight for that 3 mile, and then coming down to track, kind of having that base off of cross country helped me for track. And I was able to perform better than I kind of expected having the base going into it.
Rylee, how did you get started in distance running? Did you have a mom or dad who ran? Did you have a sibling? Did you just, in school you had a coach say, hey, come try, cross country or track and see what you think? Like, how did you get first introduced to the sport?
It was kind of multiple things. My mom ran track when she was in high school and she ran in college, but she was a sprinter. She didn't do any distances. And then I started elementary track just for like fun because I had done soccer. So I had a little bit of endurance. So I tried like the 800. And my coach right now was actually a club coach, and he was at that track meet, and he came up to me and like asked me to come out for the club team after seeing me run. So I kind of started in 7th grade really, training with him, and then now all the way up until my sophomore year, I've been with him.
Is it crazy to think like, what if you said, nah, I'm not going to run. That's not for me. I'll stick to soccer or something else. I'm not going to run. But you followed through it, and look, now you're a state champion. Do you ever think like, man, what if I didn't do that?
Yeah, I kind of think about that a lot because I could have like easily just like walked away or like not given him my mom's phone number or anything, even after seeing that, because I'm like, running? That's kind of difficult. But making that decision to go out was definitely one of the best decisions that I had made. So it was I'm really glad that I did.
Well, I don't know. I know Mike Fleming. He's a buddy of mine at Santiago, the girls soccer coach. Do you still play soccer, or have you just completely solely focused on your running career now?
No, I stopped maybe 2 weeks before going into my freshman year
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of knew with the mileage going up for cross country that it was going to be way too much on my body. So it was a really hard decision because I played soccer ever since I was like 4. I made the decision just stick with track because I knew I had a better future in it.
And, for immediate future, are you thinking college scholarship? Are you thinking I want to go, run for a Division I program? I mean, what's kind of your immediate goals maybe right after high school?
Yeah, that's my goals right now. I really want to go D1 on a scholarship. So I'm looking into that, seeing what programs have what I want to be for when I go to college, and just trying to like balance out like different situations about it.
Have you thought about what you want to study yet, like a major?
Yeah, I want to be a PA right now and like major in kinesiology.
Oh, very good. So it looks like, and I'm sure the state championship helped in terms of recruiting and getting publicity and exposure. Do you feel like your name is out there a whole lot more now that people are like, oh, Rylee Blade, the 3,200 meter champion in California, which if you win a state title in California, that's a big deal. We got some of the best athletes in the world right here in California. Do you feel like your name's out there a little bit more now since winning that state title?
Yeah, I definitely think that my name went out there a lot more, especially since there's a lot of like HG runners and all of them, they post all about like what happens at state. And I think that helped to get my name out there. And then there have been a few articles like within the Inland Empire stuff about it. So I definitely think that's helping to get exposure.
Well, Rylee, listen, congratulations, man. We were so fired up to see you win on Saturday night up there. I think it was at Buchanan High School, right, in Clovis, I want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, man, gosh, congratulations so much, and best of luck in the future. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the Inland Sports Show.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. That's Rylee Blade from Santiago High School here on the Inland Sports Show. So congratulations to Rylee on the CIF State Championship, 3,200 meters. When we come back here on the show, we'll talk a little high school football with Centennial head coach Matt Logan and Sami Logan, the first girls flag football coach for the Huskies, as the Corona Norco Unified School District will introduce girls flag football this coming fall. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. Student athletes, during competition, things will always happen that's out of your control. That's why the best athletes are the ones with short memories. Whether it's a bad call by the ref, a questionable play by your coach, or a missed opportunity, whining about it will never solve anything. The ability to move on to the next play after something doesn't go your way is a skill that all great competitors share. So many times it's not just about what you do during competition, it's about how you respond. Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
The In-N-Out Burger Cover-to-Cover Reading Club is available at the San Bernardino Public Library. In-N-Out has sponsored this program for children ages 4 to 12. To participate, children must read 5 books, bring in their reading log, their book receipt, and then they can receive a prize for a free hamburger or cheeseburger from In-N-Out. Each child can do this up to 3 times. This program will run from March 4th through April 15th, and only books checked out from the San Bernardino Public Library and read during this time period can count toward the program. For more information, please contact the library at 909-381-8201. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Big thanks to Rylee Blade from Santiago for joining us here. CIF State Champion in the 3,200 meters. We're almost done with the spring sports, and that means we're already looking ahead to the upcoming school season. That, of course, in the fall means football. We had a chance to talk to head coach Matt Logan from Centennial, plus his daughter Sami Logan. Sami is actually the very first girls flag football coach for Centennial High School. They will start playing this fall, and from what we gather right now, they'll play on Monday nights. So we had a chance to talk to not only Matt, but also Sami, the Logan coaches from Centennial High School. So let's check it out. Matt Logan and Sami Logan here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. Now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. It's Coach Logan times 2. We got the both football coaches for Centennial High School, of course, the legendary Matt Logan, and his daughter Sami Logan now taking over the first ever girls flag football team for the Huskies. And Matt, let me start with you because I dug up the old Press Enterprise video that I shot when Sami threw a pass, and I think actually led him on a scoring drive against Roosevelt, if I remember correctly. But did you always in the back of your mind think, hey, there's a future for Sami in football somewhere down the road?
Yeah, she's ever since she's gone to college, she's kind of tinkered in football in different avenues, and had to make a decision how she wants to get back into it. I think this is the safest way to get back into it for sure.
And Sami, were you always a football fan? I mean, obviously with your dad, it runs in the blood. But were you always like a football fan? Obviously, you played at Centennial. Like, did you always just kind of love the sport?
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things is, there's no opportunities like that for girls. Me growing up, I played flag football with boys when I was little. But I was a ball boy for my dad's team my whole life. So it's in the blood.
It's got to be, right? With the last name Logan at Centennial, of course it's in the blood. Sami, what do you remember from your playing days at Centennial? I'm going to dig up that old video again when you actually played for your dad. I mean, what do you remember about playing at Centennial? And did that maybe even spark that love for football a little bit more that you thought, hey, maybe down the road, maybe there's a chance. Flag football, girls football, like maybe there's a way for you to kind of, stay in the sport in some fashion.
Yeah, definitely. Like my dad said, after college, I've been wanting to play. It's like always that awkward time around COVID when I started to play. So I played with the little flag football teams. I played tackle. I did a little, but my Centennial experience, it was interesting because I had to practice to legally be able to play in the games. So I just remember going to practice and all the quarterbacks at least helping me out and stuff, and my dad giving me a hard time per usual.
When you say giving you a hard time, like was he critiquing the way you were playing or anything like that?
Just know when I was a kid and we had bad attitude, we were doing push-ups, not going to time out or in trouble. We were doing push-ups.
Well, Sami, now are you going to lean on your dad a little bit in terms of, so Dad, what kind of offense should I run? Or, what kind of play should we do? Yeah,
very much so. I definitely need help and pick his brain on that. So.
And Matt, let me go back to you on this one. I mean, how exciting is it to see your daughter coaching football at your school, at Centennial High School?
Yeah, it is super exciting. It's an opportunity for her to help grow the sport, and obviously, especially on the girls' side of it. And so it's a tremendous opportunity for her, and it's pretty neat to be the inaugural coach for that too. I think is such a great experience for her.
Now, Matt, if I understand this correctly, I think girls flag football will be on Monday nights. Does that sound right? The games?
Yeah, I think that's what they do. I'm not sure if that's been completely decided, but I think that's what's going on, yes.
Yeah, I was just curious, how some schools, I don't know if they would have the head football coach do football and girls flag football in the same season, or if they were able to split it up like you guys are doing with, having Sami as the head coach of the girls flag football team. Because I was just wondering, how is that going to work during a football season, trying to juggle several teams, in the same week?
Yeah, no, this is Sami's team. So this, I'll help out a little bit when I can, especially to get her going. But this is her deal. This is her gig, and we'll have our own stuff. And as a matter of fact, probably when she's playing, we'll be at practice. So it's not going to be fun for me to be able to miss those games. But we'll record them and watch them. So,
obviously, you want to let her have the keys to the car and let her do her thing. But do you think you'll want to give advice? You'll only give advice when she asks for it. How do you think that's going to work out?
Well, if it goes as her teenage years did, she probably won't listen to me anyway. But now she's a little older. I think she listens a little more. Is that right, Sam?
Yeah, I can take any advice I can get right now. So. I'm that age now. I'm ready.
Sami, let me ask you, taking over the girls flag football program, being the very first head coach in Centennial high school history, I mean, is that an honor? It's a prestigious school, obviously, for football, and you get to be the very first one to kind of, that maiden voyage for girls flag football.
Yeah, definitely. I'm extremely grateful that I was even thought about to get this position. But yeah, I'll get to swing around little Coach Logan. I'll get to use that to my advantage now, which will be fun.
So, Sami, again, I don't know a whole lot about, girls flag football and the way it's going to be set up. I know it's a CIF sport now in the southern section. Are you guys in the Big 8 league? Do you play other Corona-Norco unified schools? Like, how is that going to look in the fall?
Yeah, it's all the Corona-Norco schools, and King and Riverside too. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, again, I don't know all the rules, but is it 5-on-5? Is it 7-on-7? Like, how is that going to look?
7-on-7, yep. And every player is eligible to receive, so it'll be interesting. And no contact at all, so no blocking, nothing.
And when can you start? Or maybe you've already started. Like, when can you actually start going recruiting girls to come out for the team or get them on the field together? Like, how quickly can you get that going?
Tryouts are June 5th, and we're going to take it from there. So we're going to have summer practices. Yep, we're already on it. So.
Well, if you're like your dad, it's probably very mapped out, and you're going to hit all the dates and all the you got a very tight schedule, and everything is going to be building up to those first games. Which is that in September? Again, I don't know anything about this. Is it in September?
I think we start in August. I think it's pretty much identical to the football schedule, right? Dad, do you guys start in August?
Yeah.
End of August, I think. Yeah, there's no official schedule or anything yet, so they're still working on it. But yeah, I believe it starts in August.
Sami, what was your general reaction when the CIF, they were starting to introduce new sports, and girls flag football was one of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, girls beach volleyball is another new sport the CIF has brought in. But what was your first reaction when you heard the news? Did you think, well, that would be pretty cool? Like, I wonder if there's an opportunity, and of all places, it happened to be at, obviously Centennial. Yeah,
no, definitely. I was stoked. I was even stoked when they started releasing the NAIA scholarship opportunities for girls flag football. So I've been following all along with it. But yeah, I think it's awesome. It's going to really grow the sport and at least hopefully bring out, more girls to play football and stuff. Cause like I said, I'm jealous. If I was in their foot, I'd love to play. So
have you seen interest just in recent years of girls flag football kind of growing in popularity?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the younger girls too, playing tackle and stuff. A few girls played when I was little, but I feel like we're seeing it a lot more with girls want to play football now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is a question.
On our campus alone, the powder puff game is a huge thing, and it's full on 11-on-11, and the girls get after it, and that's been a popular thing on our campus for a few years. So there's a lot of excitement on Centennial's campus for this sport.
That's awesome. There's some of those powder puff games I've heard can be very what's the correct competitive is the word. I was gonna say vicious, but some of the girls are hyper competitive in some of these games. So I don't know how it is at Centennial.
All different sports, competing, and so and it's their one opportunity to get one shot in the powder puff game, and at least they get a few more opportunities here in flag football. But a lot of good athletes, play across the sports. It gives them an opportunity to come out and play some football. It'd be great.
Yeah, powder puff is actually how my dad recruited me to play, to throw a few passes.
He's like, Sammy's got a pretty good arm. Like, she should be out there.
He's like, this is a varsity ball? I had no idea. So we came up with the idea. We're like, let's do this. We want to do it. So.
All right, Sami, this is a question for you, but Matt can answer this as well. And this is just looking way down the road and just thinking out loud right now. But has it crossed your mind that in 1 year, in 10 years, in 20 years, whenever your dad decides to step down, have you thought about, man, what if I was a varsity head football coach? And what if it was at Centennial? What if I stepped in for my dad at some point?
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. But unfortunately, it hasn't.
Matt, I don't know your plans. Maybe this is your last season. Maybe you got 20 more in you. I have no idea. But, I mean, that would be pretty cool if Sami could, take the reins and follow in your footsteps.
That would be. She needs to see all the behind the scenes work, because I think she actually got a taste of that when she was a little girl. She saw how hard we work and the hours we put in and demand it requires. But yeah, that would be fun.
Well, Sami, listen, congratulations on getting the head coaching job for the Centennial Girls Flag Football team. And Matt, I always appreciate the time. Best of luck to both of you this upcoming season. And I really just thank you guys for hopping on here on the Inland Sports Show.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we're really excited. So,
and Sami, keep me up to date, because, again, I don't know what the schedule is going to look like. I think you guys are going to play on Monday nights. I'd love to come out and check it out at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I will.
Hey,
all right, Sami Logan, Matt
it.
Logan from Centennial. Thanks again, Matt. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. We appreciate you and all the coverage you give to Inland Empire Sports. We love it.
Yes, sir. That's Matt Logan and Sami Logan from Centennial High School here on the Inland Sports Show. And a big thanks to Matt Logan and Sami Logan for joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. High school football is right around the corner. All right, we come back here on tonight's show. We're going to talk more football at the University of Redlands. The big-time summer camps kick off later this week. We got head coach Jim Good and associate head coach Joey Mariani. Join us next here on the Inland Sports Show. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. And Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. Parents, there's no better place for kids to learn how to control their emotions than through sports. There's nothing wrong with competing with emotion. The key is how we use them. Channeling your emotions to work harder, focus more, and compete with intensity is encouraged. But when emotions lead to negative outcomes, this can be detrimental to athletes. That's why it's important that parents model emotional control for their kids. Screaming and arguing with refs, blaming coaches, or getting worked up at other kids on the field are terrible examples of emotional control. So if you want your athlete to keep their emotions in check, be the example. Boostman.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
The City of San Bernardino has implemented a new low-cost sidewalk vending program in hopes of expanding opportunity for community members to start sidewalk vending safely and lawfully. We want everyone to have access to the economic benefits that sidewalk vending brings, but we want to make sure that our sidewalk vendors know the do's and don'ts when it comes to our city. We must make sure that vendors are keeping our residents safe by following general health and safety standards. and by following all city rules. Like, did you know to legally sidewalk vend in the city of San Bernardino, you'll need a seller's permit? What about the $1 million general liability insurance that you are required to have? Don't let this scare you. When all is said and done, the cost of the annual permit will either be $64 or $154. We want to help in every way we can when it comes to vendors lawfully running and growing their small businesses. But those who operate without the proper permits can and will be cited. Citations can run anywhere from 100 to a misdemeanor, and repeated violations can result in the confiscation of items needed to sidewalk vend. We do not want this to be you. So, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the new sidewalk vending program, please call us at 909-384-5035, where staff will help you navigate your way to becoming a safe and permitted vendor in our city.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Right now, we're talking more football at the University of Redlands. The summer camps are finally upon us. We got a great week of summer camps for some of the top high school football players in the IE. We'll get some incredible exposure to some of the top Division I programs, not only on the West Coast, but across the entire country. The U of R does such a great job, and there's nothing else like it anywhere close to the IE. Here's our interview with head coach Jim Good, as well as associate head coach Joey Mariani, talking more about the upcoming camps. And there is still room. If you're watching this and you're a high school football player, there is still room for you. And Coach will give you more details on how to get signed up and when those camps are taking place. Here's our interview with Coach Mariani and Coach Good from the Bulldogs.
Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. It is that time of the year. We are going to pack the U of R Ted Runner Stadium full of great high school football players getting noticed by some of the top programs on the West Coast and beyond. So join us here live on the program. It is a couple coaches from the University of Redlands. These guys are household names here on the Inland Sports Show. Of course, Jim Good, the head coach, and associate head coach, Joey Mariani. And Coach Good, let me start with you first. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but is there anything like what you guys do at the U of R anywhere remotely close to the IE or in the IE?
Well, not in the IE, and I would say probably not in Southern California, and then I would also maybe expand it to maybe not on the West Coast. There's some camps and showcases that will just be a one-day event, and that's all they have. It's just one day, all day, and they cram in a whole bunch of people and players and coaches and parents, and that's it, just one day. And we're lucky enough to where we can spread out over 7 days to where we get guys adequate reps and get a number of schools represented on the west, up and down the West Coast.
You know, Coach Good, what's the feedback? What's the response from some of these Division I programs? A lot of these Pac-12 schools, roll into the U of R. What's their feedback in just the terms of the way you guys run the camps, the kind of kids that come to the camps, maybe the organization? Like, what's kind of the response you get from some of these Pac-12 schools and all the D1 schools for that matter?
Yeah, that's a giant question. I think Joey, it was Joey, Coach Mariani, that said this, that he had a coach tell him that if you recruit the West Coast and especially Southern California and you don't go to the Redlands camps, then you really aren't recruiting like you should. And we do get a ton of great feedback, and probably the most valuable feedback we get is the quality of player that's in our local area in the IE. There is some really, really, really good football players in Southern California, especially in the Inland Empire. And luckily enough, we have Coach Mariani that's got, I've heard him be told that he's the godfather of IE football. I mean, he knows the ins and outs of all recruiting and everything else. So it helps having that connection definitely on our staff, but with the camps. And then when you talk about organization, that's something that we really take pride in. We want to make sure it's a top quality camp. We want it to be a reflection of our program, reflection of everything Bulldog football. And that all starts with check-in. And that's Coach Mariani's deal. I mean, he does everything from registration, check-in, to getting all the names and everything organized. It's a lot of work for our staff. We spend a lot of time, but we take a lot of pride in it. And we do get real positive feedback from the coaches that come in and visit, and along with parents and families and kids that participate. Pep, the other thing we want to do too is we want to make it affordable. A lot of these one-day camps, they'll charge $100, $200 for these one-day camps, and that's not what we want to do. We want to keep it affordable. The whole idea was it started where, if a guy wants to be seen by a number of schools, he can't afford to fly to Pullman, to Corvallis, to Seattle, to Eugene, to Tucson. how about just have those guys come here and have an affordable camp, $60 per session. And it just makes it more really inclusive for everybody involved.
Yeah, and obviously, all these big time programs that keep coming back year after year after year. You guys are doing something right. They like the football players they're finding in the Inland Empire. So I feel like it's a match made in heaven. Do you guys feel like, man, maybe we should have started this even years before, you guys have been doing this? Like, because again, like you said, I mean, I don't know where else they're doing this, even, outside of the Inland Empire. I don't know who else is doing this. And what a great benefit it is for the community and for our high school football guys.
Yeah, it is a benefit for the community. I mean, if you think about it, we'll have over 2,000, about between 2,000, 2,500 students come through our campus. And so it not only benefits the University of Redlands, but just think about the local community. We have people coming from all different states. We have some people coming from Oklahoma. We have 20 international guys coming in. I mean, we've never had that before. We'll have a contingent from Hawaii that will come. And so they got to stay somewhere. And so they're staying in the hotels, eating in restaurants. And so from a local community standpoint, boy, it brings pretty good business to the town of Redlands, to the city of Redlands.
It's cool, Coach Good, is that, going back a couple of years, you'd say, okay, on, June 6th is going to be the Boise State camp, and on June 7th, the Oregon Ducks camp, and you'd create these cool graphics. Now I see these graphics, and they've got 20 schools, colleges represented at these camps. I mean, maybe when you first started, it was like, hey, let's try to get some of these schools to come out to Redlands and see if they can buy in and see what, check out what we're doing here and see the benefit of having camps here. I feel like now you probably have teams reaching out to you like, how do we become a part of this? We want what those other schools are already doing. How do we become involved and get plugged into the IE? Is that safe to say as well?
Yeah, in fact, Coach Mariani can talk about his travels when he does recruit. There's a lot of showcases at local high schools, and so he'll bump into a lot of coaches. And I think probably the first question, besides the breakfast burrito at Beaumont High School and how good that was, it's going to be, hey, how do we get into those camps? Coach Mariani, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's awesome because we usually have the same guys that are recruit the schools, all the area high schools. So you get to run into those people and get to know them very well. And I think the reputation of our camp has carried itself over the last 10 years, and now people are approaching us. We have 3 Ivy League schools joining us this year, Penn doing one all by themselves. Hopefully that's going to blossom into something, an academic type, mega type deal there. But Dan Swanson, the OC there, is a former GA at the University of Redlands and contacted us, and we're going to do that there. We have an HBCU on our campuses this year as well. First time that's going to happen. So I think the popularity of the camps and the I would say the reputation of how we run the camps, what people get out of the camps, the affordability of the camps, and the reputation that we have has definitely lent itself where colleges want to attach their name to our camp. And we have a bunch of schools we have camps that that we don't want to go to because we don't want our name referred to in that particular camp because of the lack of things that they have. It really feels good though for the reputation that we've built up, that coaches, big time coaches, top 10 in the country coaches are coming to our place because of the reputation we have and the things they get out of it. So it's awesome. We have every school in the Pac-12 besides Stanford and Colorado coming to our camps this year. So that tells you anything about the big time coaches that we have. And we have everything from Power 5 schools all the way down to us in the D3 level. So there's a wide variety of schools that come to our places to look for young people too from the Inland Empire and all over the place. Like Coach Good said, Oklahoma, international students. I've seen Germany on it. Nigeria is coming. Gridiron Imports is an organization that brings overseas international students out here to the U.S. and they're going to be at our camps as well. So I think it's awesome.
Well, Coach Mariani, as the godfather of IE football, as Coach Good dubbed you, can't you get on the phone and call your boy Deion Sanders and say, dude, hey, the rest of the Pac-12 is doing it out here, man. Let's get the Buffs out here.
If you look what Coach Sanders is doing, it looks like he's concentrating a lot into Texas and the South, which is would be what we would think Coach Sanders would do with his background and stuff like that. So we're not hurt by it. Our opportunity is here for everybody. Like I said, we have Ivy League schools coming. We have everybody coming from all different levels. So we'll try to get the entire Pac-12. I think that's kind of our That's a goal of mine to make sure we can say, yeah, we have every school in the Pac-12 here represented. And the schools that are coming are bringing their entire staff. Chip Kelly's coming with his entire staff. Arizona State's coming with their entire staff. Boise State's coming with their entire staff. So we have people that are not just showing up like one or two coaches. We have entire staffs that are making that investment to come down and check with the quality of camp and the quality of the young people we have at our school.
I was going to say, I've lost track of all of the big-time coaches I've seen out there at the University of Redlands camps. Chip Kelly, you mentioned, Herm Edwards when he was the head coach for Arizona State. I mean, so many, big-time names, and they personally come to these camps at the U of R. Just what a great benefit. And I know you guys have already mentioned it, but it's worth repeating the fact that, some of these high school football stars here in the IE, they don't have to travel to, Pullman and Tucson and all these other places. I mean, they come to us. I mean, I don't know if IE high school football kids know what a great resource this is in our community. Obviously they know because your camps are packed, but I don't know if they know that this doesn't happen everywhere. This is very, very unique.
Yeah, luckily we're in a great area. Like I said, it's great football here. There's great high school football coaches here. Football is important to the people in the Inland Empire, and so it's nice to be able to take advantage of that as a program for sure. And you mentioned the coaches that have come through. It has been a treat, and I hate to bring Mike Leach up, the late Mike Leach, but to be able to spend time with him, during the time he was, we even have Mike Leach stories. I won't share any right now, but what a unbelievable guy. Jonathan Smith, be able to spend time with him. Coach Peterson when he was at Washington. There's been some unbelievable coaches that have come through, and it's definitely been fun to rub elbows with a lot of those guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Like I just when I would come out to those camps on those certain days when Coach Leach was at Washington State, that was one of the camps. I'm like, I'm not missing that one because I knew he was going to be there. So it was just really cool. So many big, big profile, high profile football coaches you'd see on national television and whatnot for college football. So it's really cool. They make their way to the Ted Runner Stadium. Guys,
one year we had Nebraska show up, and Mike Rylee was there, and I remember getting a chance to hang with him a little bit. But what was so ironic about Nebraska, they had tailgaters at the camp. There was a truck, and they had a cooler, and they had Nebraska flags, and that hadn't happened. We've not seen that before that or since that, but that was something special.
Well, recruiting is big business. Like in the off season, where are kids, verbally committing to, or who are they signing with? Like it's huge news. So in Nebraska, obviously football is very big. So maybe one of the Nebraska coaches, made an offer there on the spot at the U of R, and they get all fired up about it because that happens too, right? Scholarship offers on the spot.
Yeah, no doubt. There was the running back coach. Was it R.J. Taylor? I think. Yeah, he was the first one that I remember that really made it big specifically from our camps. If I remember the story right, he was injured his junior year, didn't have a real standout junior year, and I remember the running back coach, Colorado's running back coach, came over, and he didn't even end up at Colorado, but that was his first offer from our camp. And then I think he ended up, where did he go? Arizona?
Yeah.
But now he's in the NFL. And just because of how he ran the pro agility, caught the eye of the University of Colorado's running back coach. He ran over and said, "Where's Coach Mack at?" Their head coach at the time. And we got to get eyes on this guy. And it changed that kid's life. And that's what it's kind of all about is, we have an opportunity. Not everybody's going to come to Redlands, but I tell you what, when they walk through, everybody's thinking, the big Pac-12 schools, but maybe there'll be some trickle down to help us. But when it's all said and done, we're helping young men find their way in life. And if that's with a football scholarship, that's fantastic. That's what we're in it for.
Well, guys, I know these camps fill up fast, and I know some of them are sold out. If people, are there still opportunities if someone's out there and they want to sign up, and how would they do that?
We have space still for all the offensive line, defensive line sections. We have space for those. The Washington State camp, there's space available for that camp, and there's some pretty good programs that are coming along with that. And then also the Penn camp those are the skill sessions that are available. So Washington State and Penn for the skill sessions.
All right, very good. Coach Good, Coach Mariani. Guys, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. And I'm probably going to pop in at one of these, maybe even this Thursday or Friday. I know the camp season starts, at the end of this week. So here we go.
You
Be
bet.
awesome to see you there, Pep.
It's always great, Pep. I tell you, I always say this to you, but you do such a great job for the IE with athletics and sports. And you mentioned that you're not sure if the IE folks know how lucky they are to have these camps. I don't think they know how lucky they are to have you. And so just keep it up. Really appreciate what you do for the young people.
Well, those are very kind words. I appreciate that, Coach Good. And Coach Mariani, always good seeing and talking with you as well. And again, make sure you check out those U of R football camps. Thank you, Coach Good. Thank you, Coach Mariani, right here on the Inland Sports Show.
Thanks.
Big thanks to Coach Good and Coach Mariani for hopping on the Inland Sports Show, talking some Bulldog football camps coming up. Nothing better here in the IE. When we come back here on the show, we're going to hear from Connor McAleer, the Pacific High School swimmer who won not one, but 2 CIF Southern Section titles. We'll also talk a little high school baseball and Cal State San Bernardino advancing to the NCAA Division II College World Series for the first time ever. That's next on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. In pursuit of your goals as student athletes, it's perfectly fine to feel frightened, even intimidated over the amount of energy that will be required. The question is, how do you respond to fear? Do you allow it to stand in front of you or push you from behind? Big dreams and goals should always scare you a little, but allowing that fear to stand in your way will prevent you from moving forward. While those who use that fear as energy to push them forward can surmount any obstacle and achieve any goal. Your boy, Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
The In-N-Out Burger Cover-to-Cover Reading Club is available at the San Bernardino Public Library. In-N-Out has sponsored this program for children ages 4 to 12. To participate, children must read 5 books, bring in their reading log, their book receipt, and then they can receive a prize for a free hamburger or cheeseburger from In-N-Out. Each child can do this up to 3 times. This program will run from March 4th through April 15th, and only books checked out from the San Bernardino Public Library and read during this time period can count toward the program. For more information, please contact the library at 909-381-8201. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Listen, the high school baseball season is not done yet. In fact, we've got one local team still holding on, trying to win a CIF SoCal Regional Championship, and that's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game coming up on Thursday. It's going to be the Bloomington Bruins taking on the Ganesha Giants in the CIF Division V SoCal Regional Semifinals. Ganesha is 19-0. They haven't lost all season. The Giants are undefeated. But Bloomington's got some unfinished business. They were the #1 seed in the CIF Southern Section Division 6 playoffs. They lost in the semifinals, but this is a really great ball club with a really great head coach in Carlos Contreras. They can try to get that season, get that luster back on the season with a win against Ganesha and get to the finals, which would be on Saturday if they advance. And there's a chance that Bloomington could see Castaic, the team that knocked them out of the Southern Section playoffs in the semis. That would be in the championship game on Saturday if Bloomington can beat the Giants in the semifinals. That's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. And again, that is on Thursday. So that's high school baseball. College baseball not over yet as well here in the Inland Empire, thanks to Cal State San Bernardino. The Coyotes beating Cal State Monterey Bay, taking 2 straight games in the Super Regional this past weekend. Gio Del Negro there with a 3-run homer, helping the Coyotes advance past Cal State Monterey Bay and punch their ticket to the NCAA Division II College World Series in Cary, North Carolina for the first time ever in program history. They will play Rollins College from Florida on Saturday to open up the World Series. But first, Mike Nato, the head coach of the Yotes, just talking about this unbelievable season. And again, most recently beating Cal State Monterey Bay, their conference foe in the Super Regional.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I usually have a lot of words. I'm sure they know, but this was unreal. It was really cool. The guys did an awesome job today. They're a great team. As always, we were a little bit better today, and man, we had some really good at-bats, and OC giving us a great start. Just a pitching staff has been so good, giving us an opportunity to stay in games. And we did, and we got super offensive, and we got it's crazy. It's unbelievable.
So best of luck to the Yotes as they open up the College World Series again on Saturday against Rollins College. Already the best season in Cal State San Bernardino history, and it's not done yet. Can't wait to see what the Yotes do starting Saturday at the College World Series. All right, and finally, here coming up on Sports Weekly on IEMG, we got a really fun interview with CIF Southern Section champion swimmer Connor McAleer from Pacific High School. He won the 100 butterfly and the 100 freestyle in Division IV. And what's crazy is Connor just started swimming a couple of years ago. He was just hoping to make it to CIF. Instead, as a sophomore, he's already a 2-time CIF champion. Here's a little bit of our interview with Connor McAleer. So, Connor, how did you first get your start in swimming? Did you have like a family member who swam? I mean, how did you first get in the pool?
I first got in the pool was, I think, June of 2020. My mom didn't want me sitting around in the house. And so my family signed me and my siblings up for swim lessons. And swim lessons were fun because they were just like, oh, do this, do that. Oh, yay, you stayed afloat. Good job. And then she signed us up for the competitive swim team. And I was like, I hate this, Mom. Get me out of this. So for 3 months, she stuck me in it. And then I realized in those 3 months, I had climbed to our 3rd best team on the team. And then I was like, maybe I can stay at this and do this for some time at least.
And you said this was in 2020?
Yeah. So
3 years later, are you glad she pushed you and kept you going?
Yeah. Now she's getting upset at me because we're doing all these different swim meets all over the place. And I'm like, hey, it's technically your fault.
You were too good.
I know.
And you can find the entire interview with Connor McAleer on IEMG TV right now. Check your local listings and, of course, on the IE Media Group YouTube channel. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. A big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez. He's been very busy with high school graduations. Plus, they're doing some remodeling at the TV 16 Teen Vision studio. So hopefully we'll be back there sooner than later, hopefully in a couple of weeks. So listen, again, thank you for watching. If you're watching this video, please subscribe to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. Give us a like on this video and all our videos. We'd really appreciate it. And again, make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. That is Inland Sports. My name is Pep Fernandez. Stay safe out there. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. And Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust.